Hello, my name is Michael Samuel Webb, and in today's tutorial, we are going to be deploying and configuring DNS on our domain controller. This is for our class Windows Server 2016 Datacenter. Right here, I have my domain controller open, and to go ahead and get started, we are going to need to first create a internal domain. So in order to do that, we will go to our tools inside of our server manager, down to our DNS controls. Alright, we pull that up. Okay, we see our server class 2020 domain, and we're going to expand here and go to our forward lookup zones. Here we're going to create a new zone. Next, we're going to create a primary zone. Next, we're going to we want it to basically go to all DNS servers running on this domain, class 2020. So we're going to go ahead and name this course room. Next, and we're going to allow secure dynamic updates for our ADS, or ACL, I'm sorry. Alright, we got our Active Directory list. We've got our course room for our name, for our zone, and our lookup type was going to be forward. Forwarding basically looks up the difference between forwarding and reverse. Forwarding looks for basically it's a domain name server, so it's going to look for the domain names, and then the reverse lookups looks for IP addresses in the reverse, but we'll get to that later. So for where we're at right now, we are on our forward lookup zones. Here is our domain that we're at, class2020.com. Here is what we just created, and for this we are going to now create a human resources, a sales, and a production domains for our course room that we have just created for the zone we created. Excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and create these domains. New domain. We're going to call this one HR Human Resources. I'm going to create another. I'm going to call it Sales. And we're going to create another. I'm going to call it Production. Alright. So now we can expand this, and here we are. We have our domains below the forward lookup zone that we have just recently created. Okay, so now we have created our subdomains underneath our forward lookup zone that we just created previously, and we need to create a file server, email server, and a web server, which is going to be connected to our domain via our internal. So we'll go to here, and we're going to create an A list, and we're going to create first our web server. And for this, we're going to use 10.1.1.8. Add. Host record's been created. Alright, next we have a file. So we have a file transport, FTP, file transport servers. ID we're going to call IP address is going to be 10.1.1.9. Add it correctly, and now we got email. So we're just going to call it just something simple, mail. And we gotta have an IP address 10.1.1.10. We're using this because our domain, as in our past videos, when we were first setting up our domain, our class 2020 is a 10.1.1.1 is the domain's address for the class 2020. So we're going to go ahead and add this one. Click OK. Alright, so we're done with those. As you can see them, we can see them here. Alright, so now we are going to go to our next section, which is going to be, so next we're going to go into our human resources, and we're going to create a a new host record here for a file server. It looks like in our human resources department we're going to have a file server, bookkeeping server, an intranet web server, and 2 workstations. So let's get started. I'm going to call this one first file 1. Okay, we'll give it IP address of 10.1.1.70. Add host. Okay, next we have file 2, or I'm sorry, we got bookkeeping. We're just going to do a short bookkeeping, and have an address of 10.1.1.71. Okay. Next, we have an intranet. Okay, so intranet server. Alright, and for the server we are going to use 10.1.1.72 for this exercise. Alright, and for our 2 hosts, so we got a workstation 8 and a workstation 19. So we've got a workstation 8, and we're going to use 10.1.1.73. Okay, and one more, workstation 19. For HR, and 10.1.1.74. Okay, and we're done. As you can see, for HR, there is all of our hosts, all of the data to be looked up and forward through the zone is here's all their IP addresses, whether it's looking for it forward or reverse. So then we're finished there, so now we'll go on to sales. We have nothing here, so then we'll go on. We need to add a hosts. Here we have first a file server, so file, we'll just say file 1. Actually, we only have a file server, so we'll just leave it 1 as file. And then we'll put in our IP address 10.1.1.80 host. Okay. Next we have a database server. So we'll say data server for the sales, and IP address is going to be 10.1.1.81. Next we have 3 workstations, 1, 5, and 20. So workstation 1, 1.1.82, workstation 5, 83, and then we have workstation 20 with an IP address of 10.1.1.83. Okay, and we're done. There we are for sales, HR, sales. Now we got production. So for production we got 3 file servers and 2 workstations. So we'll go ahead to our A host, to our A files, and we'll go and create our file 1. Actually, yes, file 1 server, file 1 for production, and IP address of 10.1.1.111. File 2 for production, file server 2, and we have an IP address of 10.1.1.112, and file 3 for our 3rd file server, IP address 10.1.1.113. And then we have a workstation 2 with an IP of 10.1.1.114 and a workstation 46 with an IP address of 10.1.1.1.115. And we're done. As you can see, we have our production, we have our sales, and we have our HR for our domain. Okay, we have our www mail, and under our course we have our HR, sales, and production. You can double click and see. Okay, so next we are going to go in and we are going to make sure that all these records populate correctly. So they do that by using pointers. So we're going to, alright, so we're going to make sure that these are stay updated with their pointer. So we're going to go into here and into our properties. Excuse me. Update associated pointed record, PTR record. Alright, we're going to hit OK. We're going to hit apply. Warning. Okay. Alright. Properties. Alright. Okay. Going to check our sales. Alright, everything looks like it's alright. Okay, so everything looks like it is. All of our pointers are up. We have all of our addresses addressed. So now we are going to create a reverse lookup zone. we're going to make sure that it's primary. Allow the same, class 2020, all DNS servers running on this domain controllers for class2020.com. We're going to make this just an IPv4, and the network IDs, all of our network IDs, well, just for the ones that for our class2020.com we used 10.1.1, and that's what we use for our to identify the reverse lookup zone, type the network ID. So this is basically the ID that we have been using. So we're going to go next, and we're going to allow secure dynamic updates, and there we are, and there we go. And we can look it up, and there's our reverse that we have created. Alright, again, my name is Michael Samuel Webb. This is Windows Server 2016 Datacenter. In this video we have deployed and configured our domain name server, which was course room, under our domain class2020.com, and inside of there we created our web file transfer server and mail server, and inside of our course room internal domain we created domains inside of there: production, HR, and sales. We made sure that the pointers as records stay updated along with a IP address, and we created our reverse lookup zone. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you. Bye-bye.